always time for yoga, but the time is now. The time is now. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Power Yoga. I'm so glad that you're all here, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share this practice with you today. The playlist for today, number four. If you want to, go ahead and get that started. Go ahead and get that started. Good. And then let's go ahead and get our preparations going, get our minds and bodies and spirits prepared for our practice today. Either a seated position, or if you want, go ahead and find something comfortable in a lying down position. And just begin the process of starting to relax. I mentioned earlier, the time is now. Now, there's always time for yoga. And it just reminds me that I visited a yoga studio not too long ago, before all this stuff happened, and the clock in the studio just said now. There were no hands on it, there were no numbers on it, it was just now. The time is now. And that's just it for our practice this morning. The time is now. Time is now, and this is the only time we have. There's no place we have to be to allow ourselves to settle in and to experience to the fullest extent that we're able to today our practice, designing our practice for ourselves, finding that comfortable spot wherever you're at, and begin to just kind of melt away some of the tension, some of the thoughts that we may be holding on to. There's so much negativity going on right now, that just allow that stuff to just maybe sit by the wayside, and perhaps direct your attention towards something more positive. And actually, that's kind of the theme of today, is talking about inner peace and our ability through yoga to find inner peace. And of course, that begins the moment that we choose to not allow either people or events or things to control our emotions, And one thing that yoga is really good at is helping with that. In fact, yoga is derived from the Sanskrit word of yuj, which means to yoke or to harness. Okay, or to join together. And what we do with yoga is we join together and unite the mind and the body and spirit. And if we think about that term yoke or a harness, it's really about the mastery. It's about the practice and then the eventual mastery of being able to harness our emotions, be able to yoke our emotions in a way to where we can find calm, where we can find peace, where we can recognize when we're about to lose our marbles, lose our stuff, so to speak, and be able to allow ourselves to control our emotions in the highs and in the lows, and in the stressful and in the calm, allowing ourselves to be more mindful about those situations so that we're more adept in those situations, so we're more responsive in those situations versus reactive. And that we meet those situations with more meaningfulness, something that doesn't agitate our minds and create stress for our bodies. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and find a seated position. And we'll begin by just breathing nice and deeply. We'll start that process of breathing deeply. I'm going to turn the lights up and get us into our physical practice. Good. So we're going to experience some highs and lows today. We're going to experience some stressors. We're going to experience some challenges. And so can we yoke our emotions? Can we yoke and harness our mind and body and our spirit as we engage here? Let's go ahead and begin with a downward facing dog. So let's come over the top and just find onto our mats. Nice strong hands, curl those toes and lift our ears between our arms and draw those hips up to the sky and find a nice downward facing dog. Nice strong hands leads to strong wrists and strong arms. And just think about the length of our spine from the crown of our head through to our tailbone. Nice long upper body. Equally so, our legs are long without locking our knee joints. And if you want, start pedaling those feet to get a little stretch to those heels.
and those arches and calves. And then maybe a little rock side to side. Still bearing in mind and thinking about every part of our body connected together. Bringing that connection and that united front of our body, uniting everything together, and making this process about our mind and body and spirit. Good. A couple more moments right here in downward facing dog. And then we're going to set our left knee down, and just tip it out like a kickstand. We're going to find kneeling side plank. Right leg extended, right hand on up toward the sky. Okay, so left knee down and right leg way out to the side. Good, left shoulder right above that hand, so make sure we feel that alignment and that strength, that strong left hand, still digging in those fingers. And that palm just lightly lifting up off the ground. Feel that strength. Good. And now let's take that right leg and lift it up into the sky and just hold it right there. Toes toward the shins to engage the hips just a little bit more. And then we'll bring that right foot forward. Bring it forward. Okay, kick it forward and hold. A little core engagement right here. Kick it forward and hold. Very nice. Very nice. Holding and breathing. Can we remain calm in this situation? Are we harnessing our mind, our thoughts, and our breath? Maintaining that nice deep inhale and exhale as we do this. And then we're going to bring that right leg all the way forward and find runner's lunge. So bring it forward and go ahead and stay on the left knee, shoelace side of that back foot into the runner's lunge. Into the runner's lunge. Good. From here, thumbs behind you as we lift up and arch back. Arch back. Reach and arch back. Feel into that lower back. Drive your heart up to the sky and feel that stretch into the left hip in front of your quad. Making sure that left knee feels comfortable and feels right. Good. All right. From here, come back up to neutral spine, nice and tall. And we're going to bring our right hand behind our back, just rest it on our tailbone, bring our left hand and set it on our right hip bone. Our right hip bone. So rotating and turning towards that right leg. Watch that that right knee doesn't just soften and open up. Keep that right knee going towards our heart center. Everything working towards heart center and those legs scissoring. Okay, a lot of core strength going on right here. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to turn front and center for our next transition. We're going to find a side bend with our knee down. Okay, so with our knee down, come back front and center. Good, and then just exhale the right hand down, reach the left hand up, and then tilt over, pressing our hips to the left side. Just so we're really reaching into our ribs and our hips on that left side. Good stuff right there. Reach nice and high and in through that shoulder. Good deep breaths as we reach just a little bit higher. And then we'll draw those hands down to the instep of that front foot. Curl those toes and come off that back knee. Come off that back knee, we're going to find twisted low lunge. Initially bringing the back of our right hand onto our tailbone and then square up our shoulders to the right side. Open up our heart to that right side and then float the hand up toward the sky. Okay, if that's comfortable. If not, just leave the hand where it was. If it doesn't feel good on the shoulders, don't do it, right? Good. Making sure that knee is not splaying out to the side, just coming right toward our heart center and continue to reach. Awesome. Now, from here, let's bring that right hand down and then point that left hand towards me, thumb up toward the sky, and circle open that left hand all the way open, flattening that back foot perpendicular to that front to find warrior two. Excellent. So let me go sideways, right foot forward, left foot perpendicular to that front foot, warrior two. Good posture right here, ears over, shoulders over hips, and that right knee pointing right towards our pinky toes. Make sure you can see your big toe and second toe. If you can see all your toes, okay, try and sink in a little bit deeper into that, hovering the knee above the ankle, and make sure that knee is not caving in, okay? All right, let's find reverse warrior. Exhale, that front hand, inhale, and lift it up to the sky. Good, reach nice and high, reach through the shoulder, reach as high as you can. Reach as high as you can, as if with purpose. There's something up on that ceiling. There's something into the sky that we're reaching for. Nice and high. Keep reaching. Back hand to the leg, tailbone or wrapped around the waist. I like wrapped around the waist because it gets a nice stretch on that back shoulder. Awesome. Let's find right angle pose. Take a big inhale, and then that right forearm to the top of the leg. Back hand can stay on the hip or up toward the sky or overhead, extending that right angle. And if you want a little deeper right angle, that right arm into the inside of that right leg. Okay, very nice. Again, extending that right angle if that's what works for you. Ooh, breathing right through this, feeling good. All right, now we're gonna take that top hand, and just bring it down, find that runner's lunge, and then press back to downward facing dog. Right back where we started from. Downward facing dog again, just begin pedaling those heels again, pedaling those heels, nice strong arms as we get into that downward dog. Good, and then again, think about the length of that spine as we pedal those heels, and a little rock side to side. A little rock side to side, getting those outside of those hips, even reaches a little bit into those glutes. A little bit into those glutes as we go side to side, depending on how far you go. Keeping those ears between the arms, working those shoulders and feeling something there. All right, as we come to stillness, take that right knee, set it down. Tip those toes out, kneeling side plank. Kneeling side plank, stacking through those shoulders, right shoulder above that right hand on the ground. Good, left hand up toward the sky. Just reach nice and high. You can extend it if you want. Into those ribs, very nice. And then, with that left foot, bring it up, toes toward the shins. Engage those hips. Just a little bit more, starting to work our core. Good stuff right there. Whew. Nice deep breath. Let's bring that left leg forward, kick it forward, engaging that core even more now, but staying in control of how we're feeling and how we're thinking, how we're breathing. Every aspect of what we're doing right now, we are in control of. Okay, so we're going to bring that left leg all the way forward. Keep it coming forward. Set it down. Stay on that right knee and find runner's lunge. Find runner's lunge. Knee behind the hip on that right side, thumbs to the back of the room, arch back. Arch back, sink in to that right hip. Feel it into our lower back and those muscles that border our spine. Whew, there we are. Nice. Great stretch right here. Now we're going to add that twist, so come back to neutral. Take that left hand, bring it all the way, and just rest it on our tailbone, right hand on the hip bone, facing the left side. Trying to square up our shoulders toward that left leg. Make sure that left knee doesn't open up, it comes toward our heart center. Scissor those legs together and feel that core engagement. Nice. Good stuff right there. Good stuff right there. Breathe in, settle in, soften in. We're working. We're getting it going. I'm going to turn back front and center. Okay, just for a moment. Then we're going to come back front and center. And neutral spine. Left hand comes down as we exhale. Right hand reaches up and tip over side bend. Okay, reaching from the fingertips down through those shoulders, ribs, and to that hip. Press the hips as if we're trying to touch our hips on the right wall. Good. All right. Keep reaching through. Create that space. Feel that length of your body. Excellent. As we come back to neutral, both hands to the instep of that left foot. Curl those right toes. Now lift that right knee up off the ground. Twist a low lunge. Take that left hand, rest it on our tailbone. Open up our heart to the left side first, then float the hand up. Okay. Good. All right. So making sure again that left knee is coming right towards our heart. Good. Stack it on that right shoulder above that right hand. Still flowing on that breath, nice and even and smooth. And then bring both hands to the instep. Right hand extends forward. Thumb up toward the sky, circle open as we sweep those arms. Set that right heel down on the ground. Warrior two. Warrior two. I'm going to turn to the side. Good. I'm going to turn to the side if I don't mess up my mat here. Okay, giving you guys a little extra credit on Warrior two. Hang on, wait for me. There we go. All right, good, strong warrior two. Again, make sure we got knees toward those pinky toes, good alignment, and those knees feel great. Okay? All right. The reverse warrior now. Exhale, flip that front hand, inhale, lift it to the sky. Reach nice and high, again, as if we're reaching with purpose. Something's up there that we're trying to grab. Without bending that knee, unless you need a little breather on that leg, without bending that knee, reach as high as you can and feel that space you're creating on the front side of your body. Settle in, sinking into this, softening into this pose. We're in control of how we feel and how we respond. You're not reacting, we are responding. Take a nice big inhale, right angle pose. Left forearm to the top of the leg, backhand hip sky or overhead, nice and high. Good, and then we can also creep that left arm to the inside part of that leg, down to the ground, block, or just float that hand. Okay, and squeeze those abs to stabilize. Perfect. All right. All right. Now, from here, take that top hand, that right hand, bring it all the way around, step back to plank position, boom, and back to down dog. Right where we started from. Right where we started from. Okay, down dogs. Down dogs. Just a little bit of settling in down dog. We're going to take now and start walking those feet to the outside of our hands. So walk that right foot to the outside of both hands, shoulders over hands. Exhale, press back, inhale, step forward, other side, and continue to alternate side to side. Side to side, walking spiders or down dog spiders as I like to call them. Those spider lunges. Don't worry about how far that foot comes up. Don't worry if it's even coming up halfway or not, or coming right beside the hands, it doesn't matter. Where your body's moving today is where it's designed to move today. Don't overthink it and don't judge it. Don't judge it. Good. So next time that right foot comes forward, keep that right foot forward, glue that left foot down, stabilize and float up warrior one pose. Warrior one pose. There we go. Good. So both heels to toes on the ground now. That left foot is just angled out, pointing a little bit to the left side. Good stuff. Sink in, right knee towards those pinky toes. Good depth on those knees, and you find that depth so much so that you feel something through the hips, but not anything on your knees or ankles or feet. Okay, not pain anyway. Okay, we're going to open up warrior two from that warrior one. So that back foot goes perpendicular, front knee and toe stay right where they're at. Perfect. Warrior two. Extend. We've been here before. It's time to move into something different. Lengthen that front leg. Soft bend in the knees still. Breathe in. And then exhale. Reach as far as you can forward. As the hips go to the back of the room, we're reaching forward in opposite directions. And then exhale, tip over. Good. Stacking through the shoulders and through the ribs. And just think about just that nice alignment perpendicular to the ground with our upper body. Trying to feel a nice stretch along the top side of our body, as well as a nice gentle stretch on the inside of those legs. Okay? And oftentimes we'll lose that top side of the body because we're crunching down, or we're losing our top shoulder down towards the ground. And so just lift it up a little bit towards the sky as if there's a string attached to your wrist, lifting you ever higher. Okay? All right. As we exhale, we're going to come back to a warrior two, and then we're going to straddle our mat, toes pointing to the outer corners of our mat. Inhale up, touch those thumbs. Exhales, elbows to the ribs, knees to toes. Good. Moonflowers. Inhale up and exhale and squats. Good. Give me 3 more of those. All right. One more time. And then this next inhale. Keep the legs long and strong, nice long spine. Exhale, come down just halfway, arms out to the side. Keep them out nice and wide. Letter T arms, and just keep them right there. Keep them right there. Okay, so imagine your tailbone sitting on the wall that's behind you. Nice strong legs, still soft bend in those knees. Strong feet, strong minds, good neutral spine. Long spine from the crown of our head to our tailbone.
And just feel that stretch up the back of our legs into our glutes and our hips. As we sit and maybe shift the weight into our heels, our whole foot still stays on the ground. Now, we're going to bring that right hand down, left hand to the sky. So exhale that right hand down, inhale that left hand nice and high. And come back to those wide letter T arms or airplane arms and do the same thing other side. And just continue to alternate. Inhale back to center and exhale and lift. Moving at your own pace as we flow through this side to side. Keeping that nice, strong core, strong focus, long spine. Just imagine you're parallel to the ground. One more time to the right, one more time to the left. Okay, so you're in straddle position. You're probably going to turn back to the front of your mat and find that plank position in downward dog. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go right back to downward dog. Okay. All right. So from downward dog, lifting those hips a little bit higher. Feeling even warmer into this downward dog. Just notice those ears between those arms. Can we lift a little bit more as if there's a string attached to our tailbone? Feel that stretch between those shoulder blades and the length of our spine. Yeah. With our left foot, walk it to the outside of both hands and press back to downward dog. Alternate to the other side and continue to alternate side to side. Again, down dog spiders. Inhale forward, exhale. As we press back to downward dog, try to maintain that connection of movement and breath. That's part of that harnessing process, uniting those together. Good. Next time we find that left foot forward now, we'll glue that right foot down on the ground. We'll stabilize and find warrior one. Warrior one. There we go. Left foot forward, knees to toes. Now watch that knee doesn't cave in, right? So we're looking at our big toe and pinky toe, or big toe and second toe, not our pinky toe. Not our pinky toe. Okay. Excellent job here. Awesome. Awesome. We're going to open up now, warrior two. Front foot and knee stay right where they're at. Don't move them at all. And just point that right foot towards the right side of the room, perpendicular to that front. Extend those arms front and back. Warrior two. I'm going to turn to this side so we can see that. All right, familiar territory. Let's lengthen that front leg now. Still a soft bend in that knee. Good. Breathe in as deeply as we can. Reach as far forward as we can. And of course, when you can't reach any further, what do? Tip over. Tip over, we're there. Hand above or below the knee on the leg. Okay, try to avoid just putting all of our body weight on there. Just a little bit of leverage right there. Okay, we can also use the block. Okay, and again, we're not putting all of our body weight, pressing it on the hand, just using it for support. But we want to engage our core muscles to help us to stay stabilized in this position. Okay. All right. As we exhale, let's come back to warrior two. And then lengthen those legs, straddle again. Toes pointing towards the corners. You're probably facing the other direction. Wherever you're at, just find that straddle position. All right. Sunflowers this time. Touch those thumbs way nice and high. Hinge a little bit deeper. Touch those pinky fingers down low. Keep going. Inhale. And exhale. And reach. And exhale. Even deeper. Sitting down into it a little bit more. Okay, if it feels like you can't get down there, walk those feet in just a little bit more narrow. And still make sure those knees are going towards our toes. Towards those toes. Okay, give me two more. Sunflowers, painting those big circles with our hands. All right, next time we inhale up, stay long and strong with our spine and our hips, and then our arms come down nice and slow. Swan dive down.
This time we're going to come all the way down, and when we come down, interlock those arms and begin rocking side to side. So suspending in air as we rock side to side. Drop the crown of your head, relax through the jaw, relax those shoulders, surrender your upper body into this pose. Let your legs support you. Let your legs be the foundation. They are strong, you are strong, more capable of just allowing ourselves to just relax and release into this. Nice and calm. A little bit of an inversion right here, so it helps us get even more calm. Head below the heart, regulating, harnessing that heart rate, mastering the calm. Good. Let's find stillness in the center. Right hand on the ground or on the block. Left hand, we're only going to stay on the left side for a twist. We're going to inhale that left hand up toward the sky or to our hip. Exhale it back down. Stay on this left side. Continue to flow with the pace of your breath. Inhale, lift, and exhale, release down. Maybe following that left hand with your eyes. Keep moving on that left side. Good. Rotating and lifting even higher. Excellent. Maybe try to take a little bit of weight off that right hand so that arm's not bearing all of our weight, which means we're using our core a little bit more to help us rotate, but also to stabilize us and support ourselves. 2 more. And 1 more. There we are. Same thing, other side. Left hand on the block or on the ground. We can also do cupcake hands on those fingertips. I'll do that and demonstrate that. Inhale the right up and exhale down. Good. Right hand, reach for it. And down and just connect movement and breath. Inhale as we reach to the sky. Exhale as we come back down. Good. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. All right, so we're going to crawl back around, find that plank position, head of our mat, and then back to downward facing dog. And maybe a little pedal of those heels. Make sure we're keeping those heels and arches and those calves working and engaged. All right. Now from here, a little crouching down dog. We're going to lift high onto our toes. Lift those heels. Inhale, exhale, drop those knees down. Inhale, our tailbones back up to the sky. Exhale, soften through the arches. Do that about 5 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, tailbone up. Exhale, release those heels. And keep going. So much strength through our arches, our heels, and our calves right here. And a good, nice, gentle bend on the knees. On the knees as we do that little crouch. Awesome. When we're done with the total of 5, we'll find stillness in downward facing dog. We're going to float that right leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Put a bend in the knee and open the hip. As if we're trying to press our foot on the left side of the room. Open it up, stretching through those ribs and the side of our body on that right side. Excellent. Keep breathing. Strong arms right here. Looking good. Looking good. Now bring that right foot through, set it between those hands. Back heel stays up off the ground. Float up crescent pose. Deep bend in that front knee, that right knee. Left heel up off the ground. Squaring up hips and shoulders towards the front of our mat. Arms up, shoulders rolled down and away from our ears. Good. Nice deep breaths. Sometimes some of those things that'll get those heart rates going. It'll start getting the heart rates going up. So that's where that deep breath helps to come into play too. Allows us to meet our heart rate where it's at. To allow us to be connected with that. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Let's begin leaning forward, straight line, crown of our head to our tailbone. Left elbow comes to the outside of that right leg. Rotate and turn. Open our heart to the right side. Good. Prayer, twist. Prayer, twist. Keep those hands together. Try to bring those hands to heart center. Don't soften in through that left shoulder and just let it fall in. Keep that tension. Keep that dynamic tension through those hands and that hands at heart center. Okay. All right. From here, we're going to exhale back to center. Put those hands on the ground in front of that right foot. Float that left heel up. 3-point balance. Okay, I'm going to turn to the other side, but I'm going to keep that right foot forward just so you can see a little bit better because we're moving into half moon. From here, half moon. So right hand stabilizes on the block or something that resembles it or the ground. And we float that left hand up. Stack through our shoulders and create length in the crown of our head to our heels because our left toes are pointed towards our shins. Good. So think about two planes of parallel. Crown of the head to the heel, fingertip to fingertip. Good. Now we're going to add twisted half, keeping that left leg off the ground. I'll face to the front. Good. Bring both hands down. Left hand stabilizes on the ground or a block. Right hand lifts. Hips square, opening up our heart to the right side. That left leg will lower, maybe parallel or lower. Okay, but squeeze through that glute nonetheless. Trying to lift that heel up as high as it will go. Good free-flowing breath as best you can. This is where it gets really challenging. Stay in it and accept where you're at right now. So we exhale both hands down. We're going to step that left foot back, about a half step. A little bend in that right knee, sweep those hands up nice and tall. And exhale to heart center. Let's find a pyramid pose. Inhale up, square up hips and shoulders and come down. Nice and slow, nice and slow. Good, either walk down that leg. Use that block to set those hands on. Keep those hips and shoulders square. To the front, to the ground, to that mat. And then when you found as far as you want to go into this, drop the crown of your head and relax, round your spine and breathe. Making sure we're still able to breathe, making sure that there's no pain in this stretch, that we're not overdoing it, that we're not overextending our hamstring, that we're not getting way out of whack and funky with this because we're trying to go too deep. It's okay to lift higher and still feel something. As long as those hips stay square. You can always adjust and move around. Just shake those hips around. You're going to feel something. That's right. It's the yoga twist. Shake those hips around. Do the twist. Awesome. All right. A little bend in those knees. Hands out front. Step back. To plank position, ears between those arms, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Perfect. From downward dog. From downward dog. And float that left leg up toward the sky, bending that knee and open the hip. Watch those arms. Anytime I do this, like the opposite arm wants to go soft. So that right arm wants to soften a little bit. Okay, so just think about that without locking the elbows. Make sure those arms are still strong. Yeah. Then we're going to draw that left foot forward between those hands. Good, square up to the front, crescent pose. Crescent pose. Left foot forward, deep bend in that knee, back heel up. Okay, deep bend in that knee, hovering that knee above the ankle. Arms up and shoulders roll down and away from our ears. Whew. All right. Good strong crescent pose. Great stretch onto that right hip and the quad. Softening through that right arch. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Lean into it, lengthen from the crown of your head to your tailbone to that back heel. Right elbow to the outside of that left leg. Rotate, turn, open your heart to the left side. Press those hands together, elbow to elbow, pushing through those hands without overdoing it. We're keeping that dynamic tension so those hands stay near heart center. Near heart center, and our spine stays long. All right, breathing, in control. We know where we're at, we know how we feel, we know where we need to be. We're right here. The time is now. The time is now. Good, exhale back to center, hands in front of that left foot. 3-point balance, right heel floats up. Excellent. Nice. So from 3-point balance, let me flip to the other side. That same foot still forward. Finding half moon now. Half moon. Good. Left hand onto the block or onto the ground, right hand to the sky. Stack through those ribs and shoulders and hips, pointing your right toes towards your shins. Lengthen your body. Heel the crown of your head, fingertip to fingertip. Let that left foot just struggle and challenge and dig into the mats and fight for that balance. Let that mind try and find the calm. Harness. Find the calm. Exhale, both hands down. Both hands down. Right foot stays up. Twisted half moon. Left hand up toward the sky. Open our heart to the left side. Hips will stay square naturally. Just open that hand up as far as it'll go. We can also keep it right at our hip if it doesn't feel wonderful. Good, free-flowing breath. It might get constrained a little bit here. And that's okay. We just release back a little bit so we find a way so that breath is free-flowing again. As we bring that left hand down, set that right foot down. Well, bend in that left knee, sweep those hands up nice and high. And exhale to our heart center. So that right foot, get this out of the way just so you can see it, just a half step back. Both feet on the ground, inhale up. And exhale, long spine, hips, shoulders square. Come down, keep those hips and shoulders square. Feel that stretch, feel that lengthening up the back of that left leg. And then find that spot where we need to stop. Find that spot where your body says, that's good. Now let's just breathe. That's good. Now let's just rest. Okay, I can feel something. That tension's right there. And I'm going to hold that position and then allow my breath to find the restful nature of that pose. Good. Let's take 2 more breaths right here. All right, a little bend in the knee. Let's press back to plank position. Plank position. Good. So from plank position, the next time we press back to downward dog, reach opposite hand, right hand toward the left foot, ankle, shin, or knee. Come back to plank position, left hand to right, ankle, shin, or knee. And just keep flowing through that. Inhale back to plank. Exhale, press back to down dog. Just going with the flow here. Working some upper body this morning. Awesome. One more time to the right, one more time to the left, or vice versa. One more time each side would have been a better way to say that. And then we'll meet back in downward facing dog. From here, right foot floats up to the sky. 3-legged dog. Hold it up there, drive that heel up a little bit more. And then draw that right foot through to the front of our mat. Left knee comes down, runner's lunge. Runner's lunge with that knee down. Okay, I'm going to turn to the side here. just so you can see where we're heading next. We're going to go just a little bit of half splits. Okay, so my hip is way in front of my left knee. I'm going to hover my hip above my left knee as I come onto my right heel, toes up. All right, half splits, half splits. Okay, if that doesn't feel good, cushion it a little bit more. Okay, or just lift up onto the toes a little bit, give yourself a little bit extra support. Good, hamstring stretch here, toes toward the shins. Good, stretch. All right. Breathe into this. Allow that stretch to happen. Very nice. Now, we're going to roll back onto that right foot. Onto that right foot. Lean forward, and we're going to find Warrior 3, but we're going to do that repeatedly. So this runner's lunge, we're just going to lean forward, shoulders come in front of those knees, and then lengthen to that Warrior 3. Okay, do that again. Runners to Warrior 3. Again. Runners to Warrior 3. 2 more times. Runners to Warrior 3. And then last one. And then hold that Warrior 3. Good. A little balance right here, a little balance challenge of what we're doing. All right. From this Warrior 3, we're going to bring both hands down towards the ground, 3-point balance, so moving around, getting wobbly. And then connect those ankles toward each other, right knee going towards the toes. So connect and then drive the left heel to the back of the room. 8 Kundalini squats. Give me 8 of those. 8, 8, 8, make them great, great, great. Okay, keep going. Now if your 8 is interpreted as 5 or 4 or none, that's okay. All right. Come back to runner's lunge from here, on the toes, and we're going to draw that right knee up, stand tall. Stand tall. Right hand to the outside of that left leg, point that left hand behind you and hold. Trying to face the left side or even that left hand behind you. Balance, control. Stopping our momentum. As we exhale, come back to center. Take a nice inhale and exhale, come down. Hands to the ground, step back to plank. Good. Next time we press back to down dog. Opposite hand, opposite ankle. Shin or knee, reach for it. And keep flowing through it. You're going to give me one more time each side. One more time each side. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Left foot floats up toward the sky. Bring it up, lift that heel even higher. And then bring that left foot forward between those hands, right knee on the ground. Runner's lunge, kneeling. I'm going to turn to the side. Moving into half splits. So that right hip is way in front of the knee. Bring that right hip above the right knee, onto that left heel, toes up. Of course, if you want something more, you can find that something more. Focusing on that nice stretch on the left hamstring. Good gentle stretch here. That's something where we're forcing it. Keep those toes toward the shins. That just lengthens those muscles, allows us to stretch just a little bit easier. All right. As we rock forward back on to that left foot, we're going to find Warrior 3s repeatedly. So from this runner's lunge, lean forward. Okay, the motion is not straight up. The motion is lean forward and launch into that warrior three. Down and lean. Got it. Down and lean. When we found that fifth warrior three, we're going to hold that one. Hands back, heart center, forward. Hold that warrior three, hips, shoulders square. And then on the next exhale, we'll start bringing those hands down to the ground. 3-point balance. 3-point balance, and then now 5 to 8. Kundalini squats, tap those ankles together, drive the right heel to the back of the room. Connect. And lift. Left knees toward those toes. A lot of legs working here. A lot of focus on these legs. When you're done with 5 to 8 of these, or whatever your interpretation of that number is, you can alter that number. That's fine. Good. We'll come back to runner's lunge. And from runner's lunge, launch right into a knee lift. Okay? Bring that right knee up. Whoop. There we go. Hold it up, left hand to the outside of that right knee, right hand behind you. Rotate and turn. Face the right side. I'm trying to take a peek at that right hand. My toe just set down. Okay. I always call myself out on that. I want you to know I'm human. I want you to know it's okay to do that. It's okay to do that. All right. As we come back front and center, let's set both feet down. Onto the ground. Excellent job, mountain pose. Mountain pose. There we go. Nice. All right. Let's find some tree pose. Right foot will stay on the ground. Just imagine a straight line from the crown of your head through that right heel, okay? And we just let that left leg just kind of float freely, and then we'll externally rotate that left leg, point those toes and knees out to the left side. We can either set that foot on the block, move it back, toes down, heel above the ankle, or foot on the leg above or below the knee. Hands can be at heart center. Create some branches or overhead. Calm the mind, calm the body. Calm your thoughts. Just allow yourself to try and feel as tall and strong as you can. Now, tree today has a pigeon in it, so we're going to take that left ankle, left toes toward the shins on the left side, the shin. There's not plural, I don't have 2 of them. All right, so left ankle above that right knee. Keep that left knee open and sit back. Standing balance pigeon. Breathe. Calm, soften, adjust. Small little movements. Exhale and release. Nice. Whew. Same thing other side. Okay, straight line from the crown of our head through our left heel now. Let that right leg just float freely. Open that right knee and toes up to the right side. Find your version of tree pose on this side. Might be different than the other. Finding that balance, really more of a metaphor. Sure, we're standing on one foot, but finding that balance
emotions, being able to channel those. Really difficult during this time. I'm feeling that just along with all of you. Hard to keep the mind focused. Hard to steady the emotions, ebbs and flows, ups and downs, highs and lows. Let's take that right ankle, bring it right above that left knee and sit back into it, standing balanced pigeon. Breathe, focus, calm, empowered, strong. Next exhale, gently release. Good. Inhale up and exhale full. Inhale up to flat back and exhale hands down. Step back to plank and lower all the way down to the ground. All the way down to the ground. Let's work a little bit of our back core here. Palms up or down, back by the hips. And locust pose, we're going to begin peeling our head, our shoulders, our chest, and then eventually our hands and then our feet up off the ground. Focusing on the engagement into our lower back. Nice neutral spine, just looking straight down. Still breathing. Still working. Good. And then exhale and release. All right. Now, different variation. Bring those palms down to our palms to the inside, just on the top of your hips. We're just going to focus on the legs. Okay, so we can keep the head down. The palms are just onto the top of the hips, and then just focus on lifting the legs. Okay, lengthening those legs. See how long we can point those toes. Just the legs, upper body stays down. And then release. Whew, that's something right there. Good. And then we'll bring those fingertips to our temples, elbows lifting up, squeezing between those shoulder blades. So already feeling a squeeze without even lifting here. Squeeze, retract those shoulder blades back, then head, shoulders, chest, and feet. Peel them up. It's called sea animal. Sea animal. Much more engaging up through the middle and upper part of our back. And exhale and release. Let's press back, child's pose. Hips to heels, knees out wide, feet more narrow. Bridge your nose and forehead down to the ground. Relax and release. Those arms can be soft. They can be engaged if you want. You can walk those fingers forward. All right. Let's come on forward and find pigeon pose. So right leg comes forward. We can lift up that left leg, sweep that right leg forward. Left leg 6 o'clock, straight behind the shoelace side of that left foot. So you can stay up in proud pigeon or exhale down for half pigeon. Allowing that connection of that breath to help you feel a little bit extra. As we keep our hips square to our mat as best we can. Sometimes that space between the glutes and our mats, kind of, that glute just sinks off to the side. Try and keep that space square. And then inhale, lift, and exhale, sink in. Take 2 more inhales and exhales here. And then we'll press back to all fours. And just circle that right knee and hip. And we'll get the same thing other side. So that left leg sweeps forward. Right leg back, 6 o'clock, shoelace side of that foot. And just gently exhale into this. Feel something through those glutes and that connection into our lower back. Feel that connection with breath and stretch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften, sink in, surrender into the pose. And then 2 more breaths. As we come back to all fours, circle that left hip. There we go. All right. Time flies when you're having fun. We've had a lot of fun. So let's find Shavasana. Grab onto those knees, interlock those ankles, and roll down on to our backs and relax. Onto our backs and relax. Sprawl out onto that mat and that space beneath you. I'm going to dim the lights and continue to guide us into Shavasana. Our closing song is Faded, so if you want to follow, if you're following along on the playlist, Faded is a good closing song. Finding that relaxing position onto your mats. Release everything and sink into the mats beneath you. Soften in from the back of your head through your neck and those shoulders. Relax and just feel them press in. Feel the weight of those shoulders come down. And the weight of those arms beside your body. No muscle engagement, no tension is being held on to. We're relaxing, we're releasing through our forearms and wrists and our palms and through our fingers. Relaxing those hands, opening them up and getting rid of any fists. Be aware of the entire length of your spine and relax through your glutes. Soften in. Just be where you're at. Be where you're at. So those legs be heavy and those calves soften in. Relaxing through the heels and the arches while our toes are relaxed and not curling. Our breath is natural and moving without thinking, and our face is reactionless, soft through our cheeks and mouth. We're finding stillness, and the stillness allows us to reach into the sensations of our body and the quietness of our minds and the connectedness of our emotions, bringing together and joining together all 3 of those, mind and body and spirit and emotions. Allowing ourselves to find perhaps a path to that inner peace, something that takes practice. Something that just doesn't happen. It's deliberate and mindful. But so rewarding if we allow ourselves to continue to practice and engage with allowing ourselves to really be ourselves, be who we are, not letting the exterior, not letting the outside world impact how it is we act, how it is we react, and how it is we think about ourselves. Our closing message. We bend and learn to be flexible in our yoga. So we can bend and learn to be flexible in our lives. I honor the love and light in each of you as it's also within me. Namaste.